Hello, everyone. A warm good morning to each and every one of you who have joined this particular meeting. We're back again to discuss about EalSuite evolution. So I welcome each and everyone for the next episode of our EalSuite evolution webinar. Thank you very much, as always, for everyone to join. Hi, Vinayak. Vinayak is here as always. So as you do know that we had so many releases in our previous week, and we will be speaking exclusively about that. And yes, so my name is Varun Krishna, and I will be the one who will be guiding you all in today's webinar. Right. So we have so many things to speak about. I'll just give you a few more minutes for everyone to just settle in quite nicely. For all the new people right here on the top left, you can see there will be a chat option. So you can always write down, all your points, doubts and everything, all your queries and everything within the chat box itself. Then there's a Q&A section. If you're having specific doubts about the software, about the releases and everything, you can ask me in the Q&A section. There's a raise hand option. If you are coming across any doubts, please use the raise hand option. Then one important thing, nobody cannot unmute yourself. Have not given you the permission for that. So if you raise your hand for some specific questions, and you can write it down in the chat also. So if we can't resolve it through chat, then I will individually unmute and then give you the provision to. Then we'll have a verbal communication on that. That's the way it goes. And then, yes, so I hope that everybody's having a very good time and you're all really into it. So let's get started, I would say. So EalSuite evolution, we'll be speaking about favorites for reports, streamlined bill purchase forms, and enhanced dashboard usability and more. So I'll first of all guide all of you into our release notes. So we'll be speaking exclusively about the releases that we had on 10th of August 2024, and we'll be starting with our first feature update, that is favorites for reports. So you can enhance your reporting experience with a newly introduced favorite option. And so we'll see how this works for individual branches and everything. So you can quickly access your most used reports, making it easier to retrieve and analyze the data that you need frequently. Then we have brought in the invoice field into the purchase bill form. So earlier itself, the invoice field was present there, but that particular option was not present within the bill, then a purchase bill form. So we have introduced there for facilitating easier, data entry. And then we have enhanced the dashboard usability. So we have given an option to, we have enabled an option to put sorting for tables within the dashboard. So it works for most of the widgets, which is in the form of a table. Then when it comes to the resolved issues, we have corrected the special economic zone GST registration handling, where we have fixed a bug where the special economic GST registration type transaction, when the place of supply matched the organization's place, it was not treated as an IGST bill. It was just treated as a CGST and SGST bill. So we have corrected that. And then finally into the warehouse transfer validation fixed. So if we have enabled multi warehouse transfer, and if you've done a multi warehouse transfer, then switching bit from multiple to a single was not possible. It was providing a validation which was keeping, we have resolved a validation, I could say, where there was an issue that occurred when changing the warehouse transfer method from single to multiple or from multiple to single. That was the issue. So we have fixed and we have ensured that there's a good transition between these methods and it will be error-free. So we'll first of all get started with our first update itself, that is favorites for reports. Yes. So we are in our first branch here, and we can simply go to the reporting section. I'll just get started it like this. Okay, if you're completely new to the workspace, what happens is that you can see the accounts, ledger, transactions, customer supplies, all these kinds of this reporting section within your reports, right? Now, imagine that there are few reports that you use frequently, and you don't have to navigate into that particular section, then into that particular report. So let's take an example, daybook, right? We'll take daybook. When you select a daybook itself, there is a new section which is popping up, which is called favorites, right? You can see here. If you want to remove it from favorite, there's another option for that also. Now, we will just simply jump to our inventory section, and we will put in stock summary, stock movement, and stock in, and stock out, and maybe item wise profit as well. So imagine if you want to get stock movement report, then imagine you're at your dashboard, you're coming into reports, you have two options. You can either search for it like this, that's one way. Otherwise, you have to simply navigate here into the inventory section of the reports, and then you have to select stock movement. So imagine you're using stock movement on a regular basis. So what happens if you can keep it in a favorite section? You're coming here, the first section itself, the top left section itself will be favorites. So you can click on stock movement and you can see, let me just filter it for all items, and here it is, all the details. So for somebody who's using reports on a daily basis and few reports, in a frequent manner, you don't have to simply navigate into that particular section, into that particular report. You have all of it right down here under the favorite section. So that is a specialty about the favorite section part. So if you want to unfavorite it or remove from favorite, you can simply click right down here we have the tooltip showing you remove from favorites. So you can just click it and it will be removed back there in its original position. And even if it's in your favorites also, you can come down here and you can see stock movement right from here, and you can select it right down from the inventory section as well. So no issues there as well. So that is the way in which favorites work. And you can see a small change in which the spacing has also been reorganized when this favorite has come in. The distance between these two reports, the UI that I'm specifically speaking about, has also been structured. So that is our first update in terms of favorites for reports. Next, we can speak about the streamlined purchase bill form. So till this moment, if we were creating a new purchase bill, just like this, if you take a look into the different fields here, you can starting from the supplier, then the status, the bill number, title, tax invoices, the addresses and everything, about the GST values, date, payment terms, all of this were present. Then you can see an invoice field was also here. So you can choose the corresponding invoice, or you can associate this particular purchase bill against an invoice, right? But till this moment, till this particular release, the case was that if we go to our first branch here, into forms and into the purchase bill section, here it is. Let me just view it. You can see this invoice field was not present within the form. So let me just edit and show you the entire view. This invoice field was not present. So we have brought in that particular invoice field into the purchase bill. Right now, if you want some of your staff to not to see or not to associate the purchase bill to any invoice, then that is possible. So that is the use case. Earlier, such kind of restrictions was not possible because it was not present within form. Right now, restricting the invoice field is also possible. So that is the important thing. Take away from this particular enhancement. All right. I hope it's clear for everyone. If there is any kind of doubts, you can just ask me that. Regarding the first update or this enhancement, let me just give you a few minutes to just understand it. Is there any doubts? No, none. Okay, happy to hear that. Anything else? Nothing. Okay, so we can move forward. Benefits of optimized data sorting within the tables under our dashboard. So we'll see the usability of that. Here, if you're having so many details, maybe I'll go to, top customers and everything. We'll be able to sort it out in the table like this. Okay, let me just show you another very cool data where the sorting will be really important. Okay, I'm not able to get that particular workspace here, but still you can see here that if you have a bunch of outstanding checks or something like it, and you have a lot of dates coming in, maybe you have to like scroll it a number of times to reach there. And if you want to get the particular date, like, in an ascending order or in a descending order, you will be able to easily find it out. And also maybe you can sort it in terms of the amount or something like that, or in the last updated phase. So you can just simply sort it like this, right? Sorting works for every table. The speciality is that we're talking about the widgets which are completely tables. For each and every table, the sorting will work. So let me just take an example. Let's take the account balances here. Now the account balance has been sorted in a descending manner right now. See, so you can easily get the understanding in which particular account. This is a bank account, HNCV Bank. The balance is very low, right? You can get where the balance is very high as well. And in terms of your customers as well, just like this, you can sort it out. And for your suppliers, then for your top items. And here the specialty is if you have added your units, then the units will also be shown here. And yes, so that's the way in which the sorting for particular table works. Next, we'll be moving into our first GST correction for today. The recent correction in special economic zone GST registration. So how we have corrected it and how it meets the compliance. So that's a question. Okay, so we'll first of all go into our settings and we'll make sure what our address is. So yes, we are in the state of Kerala. Now let's create a new customer. No, that's not really necessary, but maybe you can go to the customer, then we'll take a look into the GST registration type. No, I don't want to complicate things. Just let's simply create a new customer. Kelvin Phillips. And we are keeping the GST registration as special economic zone. Kelvin Fashion will be the name of the company. And we will put the GST registration number as something like this. And let me just save. Okay, so what's the specialty here? We have created a GST registered customer in a GST registration type called SEC. Now what happens when we bill? We're creating an invoice. Here you can see IGST of 18%. Earlier it was shown as CGST and SGST. The breakup, the summary section was showing like this. And if you click on save also, see, right now we have fixed it. It is right now showing the correct value of IGST at 18%. Earlier it was showing as CGST and SGST. So it's a small bug fix, I can say. Okay, so let's return back and let's speak about our final improvement and the recent transaction in warehouse transfer validation, not transaction, recent correction in our warehouse transfer validation. So what happens here? When it comes to our sales preference section, or maybe into our inventory preference section, the specialty here is that we have warehouse transfer modes, right? We've already created multiple warehouses within this particular workspace. Just like this, we have default warehouse, then warehouse unit 1, warehouse unit 2. So we have 3 warehouses where we have kept the default warehouse. The name of the default warehouse is itself default warehouse. So yeah, we have kept it as default. So we have the possibility of warehouse transfers and we have the possibility of single warehouse transfers and multi warehouse transfers, right? So it's kept as single right now. So inventory preference has been updated. Now we will go to our inventory section and we'll do a warehouse transfer, new warehouse transfer. So in and out will be kept like this. From 1 to 2, we can maybe add an item. Okay, it's not present, so we'll go to the default warehouse itself. Then we'll choose a different item. Yes, for warehouse we have 15. The total stock is this much, and we will do 2. Right here, we don't have the option to change the warehouses or anything like that. You have to globally fix it here, right? You can click on save. So a single warehouse transfer has been done. Now, this is the same case. We'll go back here and then we will switch it into multiple. Again, the inventory preference has been updated. Now we can reload this page. Let's add a new item. Again, we don't have stock for that. Yes. So we have total stock and 3 is present. Then I can place it like this. Then from warehouse 1, unit 1 to unit 2. I can choose another product, maybe the same product itself. Yes, maybe in 2, how much? No, total stock is 8 and okay, it's not showing 0. Yes, we have 1 unit present within warehouse unit 1. So I'll do one thing just like this. So we'll transfer the classmate ballot notebook, which is having one quantity present within our warehouse unit 1 into warehouse unit 2. So you can see here in multiple warehouse transfers, what happens is that you can transfer items. This is the first warehouse into the second one, then from the second one into the third one. Everything can be done within a single warehouse transfer itself. So you can click it like this. So I haven't entered the quantity here. I'll just keep it 1 itself. So we have another warehouse transfer done. Now what happens? If I come here and if I switch it just like this, there's a policy violation where the warehouse method, there's an error occurred. So we need to revert it back. So what happens then? We can go to the warehouse transfer. We can simply delete it. So that particular warehouse transfer has been deleted right now. Then we can return back into our branch and into our inventory preference and then change it into single. So in that case, the inventory preference has been successfully updated. So we have given that provision right now so that if you delete a multi-warehouse transfer properly, then you can return back into your inventory preferences and this work can be done in a successful manner. All right, so I hope it's clear for everyone. So we have completed our explanation for today. Now it's time for you guys to ask your doubts. So yes, please. If there's any specific doubts that you want to ask, then please go ahead. Nothing. Okay, then if you're not having any specific doubts that you want to ask me, then thank you very much everyone for attending today's webinar. It was a delight from my side also to explain everything. So we did explain about some cool features that we had. First of all, we explained about the reports part, right? We have bought in a favorite section also. So you can enable it if you want to. When you click on the first, report to be favorited, then a favorite section will again be popping up and then you have the favorite section. So it's another easy way for people who is regularly looking into reports. You don't have to like specifically navigate into that particular section and then find out, the report and then select it, hassle free right now. Then we spoke about enhancements in terms of purchase bill form. And then we also spoke about the sorting facility that we brought in for our tables within our dashboard. Then the special economic zone GST correction, and finally the warehouse transfer validation when we are changing it from multiple to single. So that's the case. So thank you very much as always for attending. If you're having any further doubts, please reach out to your service partners or then directly into EalSuite as well. So we'll meet again in 2 weeks time. Thank you very much.